Hi there, welcome to this little tutorial that I hope will go well and show you how to set up an email template on ZonMaster from scratch. So what I've done is gone into my account, of course, and gone to email templates. As you can see, I don't have anything. We do have some starter templates available, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm just going to talk about setting a new one up because it's pretty simple. So we click this Create New Template button up here, and there we are. We're on a new template. And why don't we call this our first template number one? What I actually think is a good thing to do is if you're going to set these up in a sequence, is to put the number of the first. It just makes them a little easier to see in the listings. So what we've got here is a couple of switches. I'm just going to go through the top of this email template and show you all the possibilities you can set up for configuring. So the first thing, of course, is to enable the template or not. I always suggest leaving the template off until you've sent some tests to yourself and make sure it looks right and all the rest of it. The other thing is to show an unsubscribe link at the bottom. Right now, this is not so essential because Amazon will always put their own unsubscribe link at the bottom of the email, so you can turn that off if you want. And now we get down to the actual conditions under when we're going to send this email template out to people. You can choose your sales channels. Depending on where you are selling on Amazon, this menu might be a little bit different. You might be seeing .co.uk, .de, and so on if you're selling in Europe. But on this account that I'm using right now, we're only selling in North America, so we have a choice. I usually recommend that you set it to all Amazon unless you've got a really good reason. In Europe, there's normally a better reason. Maybe I should have picked a European account to show this with, but in Europe, you can send out a different email in language depending on which sales channel they bought on. For example, we could also do this with Mexico. So if we wanted to send one out in English, we would choose .com. If we wanted to send out a bilingual one in English and French, we could do .ca. And if we wanted to send one out in Spanish, we could choose Mexico. But I'm not going to be so fancy, so I'm just going to choose all of Amazon. I also should mention that Amazon actually recommends strongly that you communicate with users in their native language. So in Europe, you probably should be writing a different email for every language. Fulfillment channel, we have a choice here of sending it to people who've only bought by fulfillment by Amazon orders or orders that you've arranged yourself the shipping. There might be a reason that you would want to do that, but normally I would say just leave that to all. And an A/B selector. This is so you can, test out different wordings of emails, different subject lines. If you can kind of pair this up with another email and send this one to half and the other one to half of your orders. We're not going to do that right now, and we'll have a different setting for that, different tutorial for that in the future. Again, with all these settings, one of the things I want to say is don't ratchet it down too tightly without a very good reason. A lot of the support emails we get are people saying, well, why didn't it send to these orders that we wanted it sent to? And quite frankly, it's just been too tightly restricted. There's no reason to set a specific channel if you don't have to. No reason to set a specific fulfillment channel if you don't have to. So that's kind of the basics of who we send it to. And now, who shouldn't we send it to? Should we send it to repeat buyers? Send it regardless of whether they are a repeat buyer or not. That's what I recommend. Basically, just send it to everybody. Sometimes you have a special email that you want to say, okay, thanks for buying that item again. So you can say send it to a repeat if they bought the item, and you can send it to somebody who's bought anything from you to say thank you for supporting our store, or things like this. Or don't send it at all to repeat buyers if you want to just say, welcome to our store, first time buyer, that kind of thing. But again, I recommend say send regardless if repeat or not. And stop on review. Should we send if there's a review, or should we not send if there's a review? Actually, the wording. And we say no. Okay, keep on sending. I don't care if somebody's already left a review, because maybe this email is not about leaving a review, so we want to keep on sending this to them anyway. Stop if they've left any kind of review, positive or negative. Stop if the item is returned. Stop if it's refunded. You can choose multiples here. So if you don't want to send this to people who've either left a review or returned the item or had the item refunded, you can choose all 3. And then if you really want to get fancy, you can choose a specific kind of review level. Now, another little tip I'm going to say is you don't need to choose all of these. It says or below. So if you want to, not send this to people who've left a negative review, you can choose just this one. Or perhaps this one, if anybody except a 5-star review, they won't get this email. So this email will only go to 5-star review people. Same thing with seller feedback. If the order used promotion or positive or negative seller feedback. I can see now that those probably should be switched around. But for this, we're not going to be, again, it's just a basic one. So your item is shipped maybe. So let's just say, no, we're going to keep on sending to whoever, if they've left a review or not. Now, you see, it's kind of a little bit logical here. We said, what orders are we going to send it to? Who are we not going to send it to? And now, when are we going to send it to these people? And my recommendation, well, it can be whatever, but for your first email, it's usually send it, like 1 hour after they've bought the thing. That's how it works. I think you can kind of see most people don't have a problem with this part of the template. It's pretty straightforward. You can say 1 hour after it's confirmed, shipped, delivered, refunded, or they've left this review. Order use promotion is actually not so helpful in here, so no one uses it, I don't think. So yeah, this email now will send an email out 1 hour after it's been confirmed by Amazon that this person has paid for the order. And if you're just joining us, perhaps you've come to ZonMaster from one of our competitors, you can choose a start date and an end date if you want. I mean, maybe you're going to just do a promotion for people for a very short period of time and you want to send this email to them. So you don't have to set anything in there. I usually recommend a start date, just because if you hit the send to all orders button, you want to force it out. We'll show that in another tutorial, but you can force it out to all of your orders that we've got. If you haven't set a start date, you may be very surprised at the number of orders, emails that get sent out. And then finally, which items is this email going to apply to? I usually, again, recommend that you just say use it for everything. Also, all of my items, whoever buys, whatever they buy, they're going to get this. And if you have a plan where you can send an attachment, you could, send an ebook or something like that. We accept image or PDF formats. So that's the top of the email, the most vital part, the part that some people have problems with, and that's setting it up. And we've tried to make it, a little bit logical and improve it here. We've got which orders, and so I'm going to run through and just say what we've got here. So this email will go to people who've bought on any Amazon.com.ca.com.mx from any fulfillment channel, whether it's in the Amazon warehouse or my warehouse, and everybody's going to get this. The people who won't get this, well, we haven't said anybody, everybody's going to get this, but just so I can say something better, we're going to do that. Stop on any review. So repeat buyers, they'll get this. First time buyers, they will get this. Anyone who's left a review will not get this email. And it's important to say it's a review on this order. If they've left a review on anything else, it doesn't matter. Only a review for this order. And they're going to get this 1 hour after Zonmester finds out that the item's been confirmed. For people who placed an order after the 31st of July. And no matter what item they bought. So I hope that's clear. I think most people understand subject and content. We're going to do a different tutorial for those things, but I really wanted to go over these settings at the top because it is a bit of a sticking point, and I know it's a little bit complicated. It's a very complicated thing. We tried to make it as simple as possible. Anyway, that's this tutorial. It's a little bit long, but I hope it helps. And if you have any questions or comments, go to our Contact Us form, send us a support ticket, and we'll try and answer you as soon as possible.